Guys, thank you for all being here. How many of you are familiar with Sendible? If you are, say yes. If you are, say no. It's totally fine if you're not, but I want to get a sense of the room here. No, 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 nope. Okay. Oh, yeah. Ron says yes. I see Tabri's getting coffee. Okay, good. I see a few people who are first timers, as Iqbal says, with Sendible. We're going to be learning it all together. Jean-Luc is in, and Kim says, yes, Kim, I love how you've been participating here today. If you are, I'd like to hear from you about what's the one thing that you want to get out of this session. And we're going to go into it together here. I see Liven is still on as a master of ceremonies. Do I have the ability to? Well, it's all right, Liven. Feel free to be on as you are. Cool. It's good to have you on here. Why don't I turn off the recording and then turn it back on, and we're going to talk about what's going on here. Of Bot Academy. I'm doing this intro every time we do this live session here today because we're also planning on recording it and making it available to everyone who's here and everyone who signed up so that you can go through this training at your own time, fast forward what you need to, rewind and hear again what you want to. My goal with Bot Academy is to teach you how to create chatbots. What I discovered was that companies want to hire chatbot creators to build bots for them. And so many of our people are building agencies. They've got the skill that they have, which is creating a chat experience for businesses. They're going out and they're getting businesses to pay them to build that for them. But in order to do it, you want to really understand the market and the software beyond chat. You want to understand, how can you get clients? How could you talk to people? And it's not all happening through chat. It's happening, as we saw, through Salesflare, through lots of different tools, through lots of different interactions. As we're going to see today, a lot of those interactions with potential clients, with your clients' end users, is going to happen on social, right? We're spending more of our time on social media like Facebook, Twitter, and other platforms. How do we do that? And I see that there's already some questions coming in for Sendible. So why don't I just introduce Gavin Hammer. He is here from Sendible. He's going to be showing us how the software works. And then at the end of this session, you're going to get some time to use the software for free. So Gavin, good to have you here.
Thanks, Andrew.
What's one? Oh, yeah, I'm hearing a little bit of an echo, but we'll work that out.
Is that my side or your side?
Is it the mic that's coming in from your headset that's working? And if it's from my side, I'll just hit mute. Tap the mic from your headset. Let's make sure that it's coming in right. Yeah, it is. Okay, great. Tell you what, if it is my side, I could always mute myself in between. What's the one thing that you want to make sure that people take away? The one big benefit that if they understand that, then the rest of this hour together is going to really come into place.
Yeah, I think. So I'm still hearing feedback.
I just muted myself. That's weird. I'm hearing your feedback too.
Let me just try. How's that?
No, it's still there. Try without the headphones. Let's see if we can hear that.
I won't hear you.
Okay. Yeah, let's unplug the headphones and try without. I'm definitely hearing an echo.
Let's try that.
Did I mention this is live? Oh, now we don't hear you at all. There's no microphone. Oh, no. Okay.
How's that?
Yeah, except I hear, oh, there. Now can you hear us?
I can, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a noise in the background, but it'll work. Okay, great. Yeah, let's go for it. No echo.
Yeah,
so you're saying one thing.
Sendible was built for agencies from the ground up. So my founder story was kind of, I quit my job. I launched a social media platform, which was a free platform. And very quickly I needed to make money as a business owner. And the way that I realized how to do that was I needed to get people to resell the product for me. And the market that was right back then was the agency.
Oh, wait. A few people are saying that they can't hear you now. That's so strange. All right, let's try the earphones. Scott saying I could hear you clearly. Susie, though, can't hear. And Victoria can't hear. Tony says I can hear. Let's try the echo.
Is that any better?
No echo, but Courtney can hear.
Okay, great. Cool. So yeah, as I was saying, for those who could hear me, Sendible was started with agencies in mind from day one. When I launched the company, obviously I quit my job and I needed to make money really quickly. I had no other income. And the way to grow the business was to get people to resell the product for me. And the only way was to approach agencies, build a product that agencies would love and use. So I guess that the key strength is its ability to manage multiple clients from one place. The ability to, they still can't hear me. Okay.
No, they're still having trouble. Some people can't hear you. Some people can. That's so strange. Okay, tell you what. Do you want to try to connect? People are saying good. Some people are saying no. It's not from your end. Weird. And those people who cannot hear, I wonder if they could hear me. Can you hear me?
It looks like it's fine now.
It is fine now. Okay. Still hearing a little bit of a hum underneath the work. Okay, let's keep going then.
So anyway, so I guess the whole idea was that it's built for agencies from the ground up. Unlike Hootsuite, we don't charge for every little extra. So when you sign up to Sendible, you get access to everything. You get full reports. You get the ability to manage clients, bulk importing. Obviously you can do things like have your post repeat at different times. All the queuing features that you get from Buffer, you get within Sendible. So it's a tool that lets you grow from freelance right up to agency.
And so this is a way for us to manage what we send out and what we send out on social media and what we get back from social media for ourselves and then for our clients. So businesses are paying you to do not just chatbots, they're paying you to help grow their business. And if you understand other ways of interacting with their customers and you set them up with a social media campaign, that could be an additional thing that you offer your clients, or it could be the thing that you start off offering your clients, saying, I can help you with your social media because the businesses are looking for it and they understand it. And then say, by the way, the thing that separates me from everyone else is I also can do chat for your clients. I can also let you reach your audience via chat. Okay, so that's what you do. And you're saying, look, you have all the tools of Buffer, but you also have all the tools of Hootsuite, and you're not nickel and diming people to death by saying this extra thing is another feature and this extra thing is another feature and so on.
Yeah, so that's the basis of it. And on top of that, we also offer a white label solution. So any agency can white label Sendible as their own.
Got it.
And resell it, as their own social media management tool.
Got it. So
and
Victoria, I'm sorry to keep interrupting. I just want to make sure too that they can hear us. The sound is beautiful. I don't know what happened, but it got way better. So what you're saying is if Victoria has an agency, she could say to her client, look, I'll manage your social media, but look, I've got this software. It's called Victoria Soft or Victoria Social. This will help you also manage it yourself with your team. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. That is huge. Buffer and Hootsuite. I don't mean to rag on those, but since people have been asking, they don't have that. That is not something that you can offer people. Great. Okay.
So just to give you an example, we've had a client of ours who was actually on Nathan Latka's podcast. I don't know if you know Nathan Latka. So I was at the gym, suddenly heard one of our customers on this podcast. He's just raising $1 million right now. His MRR is 120K a month, and he's built on top of our white label.
So he doesn't have his own software. What he's doing is reselling your software to clients.
He's reselling it. He's massive now. Suddenly he's raising capital, but he's obviously plugging in multiple.
So what he's doing is he's saying, I've got a software company, and the software company is really your software company, but he's putting his logo, his name on it.
But he's very open about it, right? So he's obviously that's the whole idea. But he's open about the fact that he's kind of combining multiple white label platforms, and he's bringing extra value to those platforms.
Okay, so it's not just you; it's a collection of different ones. Got it. Okay.
So he'll do things like help with the content creation, help with looking at their content that's incoming, engaging for clients. So it's not just kind of putting it together and selling it, but it's about adding extra value on top of what they're offering.
Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think now that we've got a good understanding of what we're about to look at, why don't we get started with the screen share? Can you turn on your screen share and start to walk us through this?
Let's do that. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
We see, yeah. Oh, there we go. Good. You got that thing that happens when people see a screen. And by the way, at the end of this session, you are going to get access to this software for yourself for free. You will be able to use this. Absolutely. I've got a special link that we'll give you, but we'll give it to you at the end. First, we want to understand it, see if it's a good fit for you. And if it is a good fit for you, yes, you will be able to walk away from here today with a really, really good free time to use the software. Okay, so we see your screen. What are we looking at here?
So this is the inbox. So at Sendible, we have a single stream of all your incoming engagement. So unlike Hootsuite, as we were talking about before, where Hootsuite gives you multiple streams or multiple columns, we bring everything into one kind of to-do list almost. So if you have, let's say you have 20 clients, you can go through each client's priority inbox and you can respond on behalf of those clients, or you can assign them to a team member. So if I want to, I can reply to this tweet, and obviously it brings up the conversation. I can respond, but I can also send this post for approval, which I'll take you through a bit later. But this is kind of everything. You can see this one's been assigned to our support team. So we can see that they're looking at that. And once they've replied, we'll obviously get a response. We'll get that response back in the priority inbox with everything else. But I'll jump into just how you set up your account first. We can always come back to this a bit later on. So when you get started, you'll obviously
Wait,
set
when
up
we
your
say, sorry, when we
yeah
say different
yeah
social, I like that we can get in here and what we can say
yeah
is, this is what I was going to ask you. Which social media platforms do you work with? And then what you're saying is I can have my developer on this or my client's developer on this and leave them alone from everything that's happening, but only share with them the things that are developer related. Got it. And if they're
exactly.
not on this platform, is a way for me to just email that to them and say, hey, look, take a look, or Slack it or something else?
Yeah, so you can take any incoming tweets or a comment, and you can assign that to someone else in the team. So I can assign this development team. Please check this out. But they would have to have an account within Sendible. So you'd
Got it.
have to set up your clients as users, which I'll show you a bit later. But you can set up your clients, set up your team members, anyone else you want to work with in the system, and you have this sort of task area where you can collaborate on different items.
Got it. Okay, great. So you were about to show us all the different platforms that we can integrate with.
Yeah, so when you start up, you'll connect all of your different social profiles. So we support just about everything: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and direct publishing to Instagram with video, as well as obviously photos, LinkedIn, Google My Business,
And
etc.
then get comments directly into my inbox. So if somebody's commenting, I could within here respond to them?
Yeah, so if you connect your LinkedIn account, so you have a LinkedIn company
No, what about
page.
for Instagram? In Instagram, I could
Instagram's the
directly.
same. Yeah. So Instagram would come into the
Oh,
inbox.
so because the thing about Instagram is those comments just come flooding in. You're saying, look, Andrew,
Yeah,
you don't have to. Your client doesn't have to. Somebody should respond to
yeah,
every. I remember Gary Vaynerchuk saying, if you're starting out and you're not responding to every one of them, you are missing out. Don't try to think about how to get more people before you service the people who are signing up. But it could be
yeah.
murder to go and respond to everybody. But if someone else on the team can go in and respond and say, thanks, yes, got it, great, etc., and then forward to me or to my client and say, this one you should definitely respond to. It's a personal friend or it's a client or whatever. Got it. That only comes to me. My assistant, someone else on my team handles it. Got it. Okay. And you're saying for LinkedIn, what could we do for LinkedIn?
It's the same thing. So you can publish, you can receive incoming engagement, incoming posts, and respond to that.
Okay. And it's important to say, on Instagram and LinkedIn, from what I understand, Sendible will not allow us to manage direct messages, right? Those are still
So
platform.
LinkedIn and Instagram, yeah. So for that, you can't obviously have incoming direct messages for privacy issues. But we are partners with both platforms. So if they do ever open up, that will be added into Sendible pretty
Now,
quickly.
there's some people who claim that they could do that. I want to be clear. We have gotten so many offers from people who want to teach you how to create a chatbot on Instagram and send messages in bulk during Instagram direct messaging. I'm open to showing it, but I always have to have a clear disclaimer that says, this is not something that Instagram wants. This is not something that they allow. They don't want software like Sendible, like ManyChat taking over their direct messages yet. And so I don't want you to do this for your client if it's going to potentially close up their Instagram account. So it's clear that this is something you can do that you have a lot of power in, but not every power to manage. Great.
Yeah. So, okay. So moving on, I'll just take you through. Obviously, we have all the social networks. We also have blogging platforms. So you can publish to WordPress if you wanted to Tumblr, Medium from the platform. And the way our agency customers work is they'll work alongside their clients. They'll send the post for approval. Once it's ready, they'll publish it directly to Tumblr or Medium or WordPress, for example. So everything is set up. The other challenge we have with agencies is that they are reluctant to get their clients to share the passwords with them, especially in a privacy-conscious world. You don't want to ask your clients for their Twitter passwords.
Right.
So we've developed this Client Connect widget, which you can install on your website. So you basically put your URL, your website domain on there, and you choose the various platforms you want to support. You want your clients to be able to connect. So if I want to, just for now, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, maybe I want to add LinkedIn.
Yep.
Okay. This will then generate a piece of code that you can put into your website. So you would take this code and you would essentially have this connection system on your own agency website. So your clients are never sending you their passwords. They would basically just connect their profiles going through OAuth 2, which is the preferred secure process where you don't share any passwords. And they would then give you access to their profiles. And those profiles will then appear within Sendible for you to manage.
Oh, got it. So Shane, who I haven't heard from, I think Shane, you're from Zimmer, right? If he decided, I'm going to create an agency, I want my clients to give me access to the social media that my team and I will manage, but I don't want them to give a password. He could put it on shaneagency.com/client dashboard and say, part of onboarding, you click this and give me access to your accounts. Don't worry, I will not have your password, and my team and I can start
Exactly.
managing. Got it. That's really helpful.
Got it.
And it shows a sense of professionalism for the client that will blow their mind, because it's these little touches of software magic that clients use as a way of judging whether they made the right decision to work with you or not. Okay, great. I see it.
It's crazy how many agencies we work with have had their Google spreadsheets stolen. Now with the ex-employees stealing the spreadsheets with everyone's credentials. So this is a safe way to keep your client's data secured.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically you'd set up your accounts, get everything set up, and then you would then manage your users. I'll just jump around a little bit, but you would set up your team, your clients, or your team members. So the way you set up a user is like with any tool. Set up the name of the clients. It might be Starbucks. You would insert their email address, their phone number, give them a username, and a password if they want to log in. But
Yep.
obviously you can manage it for them. And
let's
then,
look at permissions too before you continue.
yeah,
I just want to see what kind of power can we give people.
okay. So permissions. So with it's fairly advanced. So you can
Got it.
configure
Oh,
permission
got
groups
it.
so each client or team member can have particular permissions.
Uh-huh.
Because the issue here is if you have an intern, obviously a lot of agencies have interns who are writing the content. You might not want to have them access reporting or various bits of data that might be more confidential.
Yep.
That could damage the brand. So you can restrict who can publish and schedule posts, who can monitor incoming engagement, or who can build reports, who can access those profiles that I showed you before,
Yep.
and managing of content and RSS feeds. So you can turn things on and off, and then once you set up your profile, you essentially assign a permission group.
Got
And
it.
that's what that particular user can and can't do.
Okay.
But the more advanced piece comes into the workflow approval. So I'm going to go. I'll jump to the approval section. But if you have an intern, like I said, you can have every post the intern creates go through an approval process. So I can say this user has to go through Ellie Scott for
Yeah.
every post that he or she creates to
Yeah.
prevent any damage. Because obviously, social media is about brand, and you can easily
Yeah.
create damage to that brand's reputation.
Right. And you
So
don't want them slacking that over and then from Slack taking the feedback and adjusting it. You just want a way for them to, before they get to publish, somebody gets the okay.
yeah,
Got it.
that's it. So yeah, essentially you would set up your users. You can set up multiple hierarchies depending on how you want it to look. So you can have a team which is Sendible main with Eddie Scott in their team, and you can go multiple levels deep. So if you have, let's say it's a big agency, you have multiple clients. Every client has a group of team members assigned to that client. You can structure these users as you like, and either
Can
as
I
a video,
have, we have somebody post on Instagram, say, can I have somebody with access to just respond to comments without the ability to post anything?
yeah. So that would be in the permission profile.
Yeah,
So
that's fantastic.
so
You
any of these features you
uh-huh.
can turn on and off. You can hide any of the tabs, which I'll show you shortly.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's incredibly helpful. So you could imagine that you might have a client who's posting to social media, can't respond to every single person. This is an easy win. I will respond. My team and I will respond. You have a virtual assistant go in and respond with a set of messages so that people know that it's acknowledged, and then forward to your client only the messages that are critical for them to look at, critical for them to respond to. And then when they respond to those critical questions and comments, boom, they're heroes with their audience, and you've done that for them. It's an easy win. It's an easy win. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to jump into the publishing part of Sendible, which is probably its strength is around publishing and scheduling content. So if you go to the calendar view, you'll see your team's entire content calendar. So I can see that I've got some scheduled here, but I can also view Ellie's posts if I wanted to, or I can view everyone's posts that are scheduled on the one calendar. But so let's say I want to schedule something for Saturday. It's currently blank. I can basically click on that particular cell. And it launches this compose box. Now this is where Sendible really shines. So say you want to post to your clients. So what's Sendible? So a Facebook page, a Instagram account, and a LinkedIn account. So what you'll do is you'll write your post. So this is my post. I'm on a webinar, and you'll see that this particular piece of text is copied across Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. But I can tweak it for each platform. So as you know, it's really important to customize your posts for different audiences.
Yeah.
And Instagram, this type of audience would prefer having an image, obviously, but it might prefer having a hashtag. So you might want to find a trending hashtag you want to use for Instagram.
Yeah.
And for LinkedIn, you might want to make it a bit longer, that kind of thing. And then obviously you want to attach an image. So I want to attach an image. I'm going to grab an image off your website. So I'll just go to Mixergy for now.
Oh, you can
And I'll
just
just
go in
grab
and
this
grab
one.
whatever you want. Okay.
So I can grab an image, and obviously the dimensions are wrong.
Yep.
So it's telling me that this image won't work on Instagram. So I need to, because
Great.
Instagram is pretty strict with aspect ratios. So I'm going to make this work for Instagram by clicking Edit Image. And this will give me the correct aspect
Sweet.
ratio. So I can just get that right for
Let's just
Instagram.
zoom in on the M.
Sorry?
Let's zoom in on the M. Right? We're just looking to say, no, from the, can't you grab the bottom right corner?
Yeah, that's a
Let's
good
do
point.
it.
We could do. Yeah, we
Yeah,
could do
yeah.
it.
There you go. Let's zoom in on the
Cool.
M. That's the way that we're going to represent this photo. Boom. Got it.
And
Or
then,
the X. Got it.
So it's still complaining about something else, but essentially you can edit your image. You can also have a different image for LinkedIn. And let me just, so this won't post out because of the image. So I'm just going to remove this for now. Let me just take out the Instagram. So once you're good to go, obviously you can upload videos as well if you wanted to. You can attach emojis. You can grab images from just about anywhere, uploading a file, URL as I showed you, from a cloud. So if you work on Dropbox or Google Drive, which
Yeah.
a lot of agencies do, you can grab your content and pull it in to your compose box. We also integrate with Canva directly. So I don't know if your audience uses Canva, but it's a great way to create.
They should, guys. For creating social media images, for creating images in general, Canva is beautifully simple. It's just so good. I'm seeing, by the way, here that a few people are asking about, can you do full screen because it's not showing up? Here's what I found. Can I do this here for you? I just accidentally clicked the wrong thing. For those of you who are having a hard time seeing this in real time, what I do, first I bang the mic, and then I just zoom in on whatever device I'm in. So if you could just zoom in using unpinched, or, well, there we go. I've zoomed in using pinch. You could, if you've got a Mac or Windows device, also zoom in on the screen by hitting, I think it's Command Plus. So yes, within this, if you want to get into the details of it, you could absolutely zoom in. But don't worry, we're describing this to you. And so if for some reason you miss something because it's too small on your screen, you're going to understand it because we're going to talk about it and show it to you. Thanks. That's what they have to say. I cannot allow somebody to have any bit of issue. I hope it's not like distracting for the people who don't have an issue. Okay, let's continue. So we've got this, and why would I want to repeat?
Yeah, it's a good question. So some people want to have the same post. So I guess especially on something like Twitter, where your tweets are short-lived, you might want to have a tweet repeat once a month or once a quarter, just to make sure your visibility is for that audience. The audience will see that particular post.
Okay.
But if you wanted to, you can have a post repeat daily, weekly, monthly, or annually. So maybe it's on your company's anniversary, you might want to have the tweet go out, or it's a special event for your client.
Okay.
You might want to have that go out every year, whatever it is. But just to save you time, really.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that every hour. That's like spamming the social networks. But you can use it to your however you want to use it. And then we have this really cool set optimal time feature. So what this will do is this will analyze all your previous posts. So it'll look at the average, the best time to post across all your profiles. So it'll look at when you get the most engagement, at what time of day. So if I hit this button here, it'll tell me that I'm more likely to get engagement at 7 a.m. in the morning. So that's the time
really?
I post, because it'll analyze my previous posts.
That makes sense. I've been trying to figure out when should I post and when not, and I just kind of do it by gut. Okay, that makes sense.
So that's when our audience is going to be most engaged, 7 a.m. in the morning, 7 in the morning. So obviously, if you wanted to do a different time or different weekday, you can do that. And if you come from a buffer background and you like to use queues or buffers, you can just dump it into a queue. So I've got 2 queues set up here. And then how that works is your queue will have the time set up already. So you can predefine Monday, optimal time for Monday, optimal time for Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe another one on Wednesday. So you can build out a sequence of posts by building a queue, and then just adding your post into that queue, and it'll just it'll send out that post at the time of day for the particular day that you've got a time set up for. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And once your queue is finished, you can either set it to recycle, so you can have evergreen content repeating once the queue finishes, or just to kind of have the post go only once, essentially.
I used to think that that just didn't make sense. And then I saw, I think it was Tim Ferriss who would take his old posts and just republish them. And there are some that are really useful, and I actually will go back and take a look at. And then there are others that he definitely would not republish, like the one that he recently did about why he's going back to accepting advertisers on his podcast. That's more topical. It makes sense when you're making the switch, but not afterwards. But his posts on health and even past interviews for his podcast totally makes sense to republish a few months later and say, this is a good one, especially if it's one that is related to like next spring or winter food or something, or New Year's resolution. If you had one that was especially good. Okay, I'm with you.
And then a new feature we released quite recently was the ability to preview your posts. So people, especially agencies, you want to check the post will look right before you publish it for your clients. So especially if you have a video or an image, I don't have one right now, but you can preview the post across each platform. And the key here is really for LinkedIn. So I don't know if you guys have noticed LinkedIn, you have the above the fold, they're calling it now on LinkedIn, which is the point that your post will have the show more text, which is what's used to grab someone's attention. So if I show you what this will look like, you'll see that on LinkedIn.
Oh, I see. So now there's certain parts that just won't even make it in there until people even hit clicks to see more. And I want to know that before I send it out to see if what I've sent fits. Got it.
So this is really about grabbing attention. So before they even read on, you need to make sure your first couple lines are there to grab the reader on social media. And this is becoming critical with so much noise and so much content out there. So we've built this preview to allow you to see where the text gets cut off. So you can make the most of those first couple lines.
She loved this. Courtney loves it. Yeah.
And then obviously you can see Facebook as well. So you can go across those, and you can, even if you wanted to, you can screenshot these and send them to your clients. We are working on another feature which will allow you to export them all. But essentially, that's really useful to just double check where that happens.
Okay, that's great. Iqbal likes it too. Thanks, Iqbal.
So that's pretty much how the composer works. But the key thing here is about sending for approval. So you're an agency, or so assume this is your intern creating the post.
Yeah.
You can have the intern send this to me or to someone else on the team. Let's find someone. Please, could you approve? And this will be sent to Veronica to approve, and she'll receive a notification for her to look at that to make sure it goes out on time. So that's how you can work with your. So that could also be going to a client.
Yeah.
So you could send that to your client for approval.
You know what, that comes in handy? So I recently sent a message to the founder of Product Hunt. I love Product Hunt. I like to see what new software they've got on there. But when they launched something, they just had this weird language. So I sent a message to the founder. He said, our team in the Philippines is really good, but I think it was the Philippines, but their English is sometimes a little bit off because they express things differently. And so I know that this happens quite a bit online, where you can see that there's something that's just a little off. But if someone would have looked at it first, it immediately would have stood out. Like in the US, we put $ and then the number, right?
Yeah.
If someone's overseas, they might put the number and then $ afterwards. And it's a little tell that it's not really written by the company. Nathan Latka had an issue like that, where somebody posted something on a social feed. And I said, Nathan, this is a little weird. It's a little off. He goes, yeah, I was testing something. It didn't make sense. So yeah, having an approval process, absolutely super helpful, both for you internally. And then if you've got a client, you want to have your client approve things maybe in the beginning when they're getting a sense of comfort with you. And that will make them feel better about turning things over to you.
And I guess what's happening is people are getting better at spotting what's fake. So fake news, fake content, anything that's off tone, off brand, people spot straight away.
And then you know what, Frank, even for me, I'm on brand. I am the brand. But you know what? Sometimes I make mistakes because I dictate everything into my phone. I don't type out. And when you dictate, sometimes Siri gets things really wrong. And so second pair of eyes is super helpful. Yeah, absolutely.
So once you've assigned it for approval, that person will have their My Tasks view. And this is just some test over here. But if you wanted to collaborate on that particular post, you can leave a comment, please change, whatever, and that'll go back to that person. So I want to just jump into the content section, which is really useful. I'm not sure how much time we have.
Oh, we've got more. We've got about 40 minutes, and we're going to do some
okay, amazing.
Okay, time.
Okay, so so let me jump into the content section. I'll skip over monitoring for now. But in the content area, this is where it's really useful for agencies to manage their content for their clients and to source new content. So one really useful feature is the ability to source kind of thought leadership sort of articles before they become mainstream. So we have an algorithm that'll look at the influencers and kind of what they're posting about on any topic, and you can grab those upcoming sort of pieces of content and share them as thought leadership pieces. So let's say you want to talk about, I don't know, freelancing, maybe.
Let's take a look at freelancing, because
So I'm
I'm
going to
kind
find,
of skeptical as you get into this, because this kind of reminds me of the period on Twitter where people were just posting articles, and it wasn't personal, and it was just articles with the sense of showing that you're showing up every day. Let's take a look at this and how this works.
So this is kind of that sort of thing, where you might want to look for a topic that isn't mainstream yet.
Let's type in Apple, for example, just because I want to find a topic that has a lot of conversation around it.
Okay,
I think people upset about Apple today? Maybe they're always upset about Apple. Okay, so let's take a look. All of Apple's may offer 5G. Okay, what would I do with that top one if my topic was Apple? If my client's topic was Apple?
So you might want to read it first. So I would, I mean, if I was doing it as best practice, I would probably read the article. Hopefully,
Okay.
I would grab some comments out of that article, some piece of information that might be useful.
Yeah.
And then I would just share it. But I would add some commentary, right? I wouldn't just kind of do it like that. I would say some sort of crazy topic or some sort of fact.
Got it.
Some fact about the article.
Got it. Or maybe I would have an opinion about it, since
an opinion. Yeah, exactly.
Topic, I might come through and say, there's no way I'm going to buy a 5G Apple phone next year.
Yeah.
Considering that there's only one city so far that has 5G, and we're not going to get them up and running. Screw that.
So that's amazing. So I'll do that kind of thing. But then the other thing to grab someone's attention is to replace your link preview with an image. So rather than using the default stock image,
right,
you can just replace this with an image of your own.
Got it.
So either you can fetch the image from the website, which doesn't have much.
Yeah.
Or you can upload your own if I have one.
I like that you can even do search.
Yeah. So I might want to do something else that's more eye-catching, less stock imagey.
Got it.
And then just queue that up, put it into the queue.
So I could just do a search for like a rotten apple or something, and then that becomes my thing. Got it. Okay, this is bad reporting, and then I put a picture of a rotten apple. Got it. All right, I'm with you.
So rather than just posting and hoping for the best, you have to put some extra effort into it. Make it your own, really. And that's what I would do. And obviously you can preview it and that kind of thing again, and then send it out. But yeah, so this you can do for any client. So if you have clients who have really obscure topics or industries that they're in, you can find just about anything and keep their feeds updated. But as you were saying, you have to kind of put some commentary on there.
What I would do with a client, I think, especially if I'm getting started, is call them up and say, hey, look, here are the 10 things that just keep coming up in the news for your people. People are talking about 5G. People, for some reason, keep talking about the flip phone from Samsung. And just here's what it is. Go. Tell me something. And then I write it down, and then I go tweet on it. Some of these topics just keep coming up over and over again. Great.
Yeah.
All right, I'm with you on it.
And then you can go into influencers as well. You can find the influencers within Apple. If you want to engage with Tim Cook, obviously you can. But if you went more niche, you'd probably find more interesting influencers.
Yeah.
You'd find you see his timeline, his mentions, his extended bio, his profiles. So we'll pull all the stuff for anyone that you're looking at, and obviously we can build up your influencer list. Right. Try and engage with them.
Down a little bit more. Walt Mossberg's a good one. If you quote Walt, everyone for some reason takes him super seriously. Not for some reason. He was the original reviewer, and Apple actually really liked him. Got it. So you can just kind of get a sense of what he has to say.
You can retweet, repost his stuff if you want to, and kind of get some of their content.
Clients, check in with them and say, look, I did some research on your business. It looks like these are the 50 people who are big influencers. Who should I not pay attention to? And they'll say clearly, all right, Tim Cook is not chatting with us, and he's not saying anything relevant. He's just like the CEO of the company, is going to be super specific. They might say John Gruber is always very complimentary. Walt Mossberg is someone that we should be looking at more closely. And then Gizmodo is good to also pay attention to, right? And then now you get a sense of who you really want to take a look at. Okay, I'm with you on this.
Cool. So that's kind of how you find content and influencers, and then you can also manage your RSS feeds. So similar to Feedly, very similar sort of experience where you can add RSS feeds. There might be your own RSS feed. So if you want to automatically distribute your own blog content, you can do that too. So you can add an RSS feed. Again, you might want to find a feed on any topic.
How about if you type in chatbot?
Chatbot. Okay.
One word. Let's see what happens. Let's see who's writing about it. Got it. Chatbot.
So there's a bunch of feeds that I can subscribe to. So I don't know if you know these ones, but
I know some. So what I might do is, yeah, Chatbot Life is a really big one in the space. I might add them to my feed, and then I might also go and say, you know what? It's not just about chatbots. It's people who are talking about marketing. Anyone who is in Social Media Examiner's universe is probably going to be in our universe because they are big businesses who are turning to Social Media Examiner for social media help. We might work with them and their clients. Great. So you might type in Social Media Examiner, start following their feed, and then got it. And then you're starting to talk about the topics that they're talking about as a way of bringing people into chatbots if they're talking about general social media topics. Good. I'm with you. Iqbal says, I was going to say the same thing. Got it. Okay. You've got some fans here in the audience, by the way. Courtney is in there.
Great.
Kim just signed up and she's been looking at it. Guys, if you have been using Sendible, let me know in the chat what you use it for or what questions you have about it or what the hesitation is. And I'm not going to be hurt. I don't think that Gavin's going to be hurt if you come in and say, actually, I don't think this makes sense because, and it could be a broad issue like, you know what, I think social media is a little bit overdone for us, or it could be a more specific thing like, I think maybe I could get this free with another one. No one's here to be hurt. We're here to understand you and hear you out. And if it's not a good fit, totally fine. But don't hold it in. Bring it out and let's talk about it. Great.
Cool. And then you'll see you can sort these posts by the most popular. So you'll see that there's a little rating on the side. So under any RSS feed that you post, that you connect, I will analyze how much engagement that particular post has received.
What are you doing that based on?
So it's a third-party integration that we're using to pull that out. But yeah, so you'll see that this one is the most popular on the feed right now. So you might want to post that out, maybe get some engagement. But what's really useful if you want to save time is to use the auto post feature. So I can take this particular feed and I can say I want this one to go out to our Sendible Facebook page, maybe maybe randomly every 24 hours. So this will take a post from the feed, the random post, and schedule it out randomly, kind of 12 to 24 hours every day. And if you wanted to maybe check them before they go out, you can set them as a draft. So you can draft them all out, edit them before you publish them for your clients, or you can automatically schedule them, or just queue them up so it goes into your predefined queue times.
This part I don't love. I don't love the idea of automatically posting people's links. That worked a few years ago, but I feel like at this point it feels a little out of touch. Now, maybe there's a reason why you might want to do this. Like, frankly, for us, for the Mixergy feed, there are people who don't check out a website anymore, but they do subscribe. We talked about Daring Fireball earlier when I said that they were a little complimentary of Apple. He's got a Daring Fireball Twitter account that just reposts every single one of his articles so people can read it that way. In that sense, I think it makes sense. But I think as part of regular content, I don't. What do you think about that?
So we use it. So we use it for our own blog, right? So I wouldn't post someone else's content,
right?
But we have a marketing team that's producing content kind of every day. So rather than the whole company having to remember to go to the blog and manually post their content, we can have everyone in the company's social media post feeds be updated automatically.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's like once a week, maybe. So it's not like spamming. It's just once a week. It'll automatically be published.
Yeah.
And I guess what's key is you can also edit the actual caption that goes with that post. So it's not going to just send out the link. If it's your own RSS feed, you can edit the meta information on your own blog.
Yeah.
And make sure that it's more organic and less spammy. But yeah, I agree. This is kind of being more phased out. People are doing crafting posts themselves, but we have users who still use this, and it just saves them tons of time. Yeah, so that's pretty much how that works. The standard, I guess you've seen this on Hootsuite or other tools, but the ability to customize how it goes. You can filter by posts, by the content of the post, and decide what type of content you want to post along with that RSS feed item. But yeah, so that's just a time-saving tool. And then the other thing is the content section. So this is an area for agencies to store clients' content. So what you would do is you would create a library. So let's say, I don't know, if you have a client, maybe Nike, and you want to have, some people in your team who want to consume the content. So maybe Eddie will consume the content.
Interesting. So if I want to train my people about chatbots, if they're like a virtual assistant that's new in this, doing a few things, or a new content writer, I might just create a consumable link for them so that they could just keep reading it and being up to date on this.
Yeah.
Got it. If I've got a client who is into, let's say, drones, I might want to create a list of things for them to read for our team to read so that we're all up to date on what's going on with drones. Got it.
So that's one way of doing it. But our typical use case is it's an agency working with the client.
Mhm.
So how they normally work is the agency will spend, let's say, a day, maybe a day a month on site with the client, and they'll grab content. So they'll take photos, they'll interview people, they'll record videos, and they'll store all that content in a content library. So their team can then use that content for the rest of the month.
Got it. Okay.
So it's like a way to store content and then kind of repurpose it.
Okay.
So you have stuff to work with throughout the month. So if we take Nike, let's say we went on site to Nike, we took some photos of their shoes, upcoming shoes, told some stories.
Yeah.
Now, Ellie is the intern. She'll use that content in her social media posts, but the social committee will be contributing towards that content library. So they'll be going out and taking the photos and adding content in. Ellie will be using
Okay.
it.
I see. Got it.
So once that's set up, you can then add stuff to the library. Sorry, so you can add social media to the library. You can add original content, blog posts, and obviously adding social media is the same sort of compose box that I showed you before. And you can tag those posts so you can find them easily. But one of the key ways to use this is via email. So every content library has its own unique email. So if you're on site with a client, you can just dump. You can either use our mobile app or just send those photos that you've taken straight to the email address, and those will be stored in the Sendible content library for that particular client, and your team can then start using it right away.
Okay. Okay.
Does it
I'm
make
with
sense?
you on this. Yeah, it does.
So when you have the content, you then have the ability to share it from here, and either as a blog post or as plain text. It's actually a blog post. Let's just do. So it'll basically give you the text you want to share, or if you want to edit this, it might be some information about maybe an interview you did with someone, and you want to just chop it up for social media. That basically gives you that ability.
Okay.
Uh,
Let's take a couple of questions. Jean-Luc was, am I pronouncing your name right? Jean, let me know. Saying Jean-Luc, excuse me. What happens if somebody wants to use Sendible as an easy way to just share posts that they write for their clients automatically? So I'm imagining, tell me if I'm understanding your question right, but it seems like Jean-Luc is saying, I want only the things that I write on their site to be shared out, not other people's. And my sense is you could do that because if you're writing on a WordPress site or something similar, you have an author URL and an author feed. You put that into Sendible and then have it scheduled to automatically go out, or have it scheduled to go out with some approval or editing. I think that's what you're looking for. And I think that is easily done.
Yeah, so if you're using the automation, the RSS auto poster, you can decide what to include in the automation. So what types of posts. So only posts containing this text will then be published out automatically.
Got it. Even easier.
Maybe it's your author name, or maybe it's a hashtag or something. So you can control what gets published automatically. If that answers the question.
Yeah, I think so. Let me know. And Iqbal's asking, how about the use of hashtags? You could automatically add hashtags?
So that's something we're working on. So we're working on sort of a hashtag tool that'll automatically tell you which hashtags to use. But
Okay.
but the thing is, as you're typing something, this is a post. If you include a hashtag, it'll start searching Twitter. So obviously Donald Trump will be
Yep.
insane. But you can see a number of posts trending in the last day. So it gives you an indication as to what's trending. So I guess you would know what your industry topics might be, and you might just get some ideas and just determine which ones are the most used,
Okay.
I guess, on Twitter for that day.
What do you think? I know
Same
on
for
Instagram,
Instagram.
people are using hashtags as a way of finding collections of photos around a
Yeah.
topic. On Twitter, are people doing it much? What do you see?
Not as much as it used to be. It's not as powerful. But I think Instagram, it's critical these days to use hashtags. And I would say for LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn is really, the algorithm is really favoring kind of hashtags. And I have my posts going trending like almost daily now on LinkedIn.
You do?
But like, it's crazy. I don't know what it is, but the algorithm is really good right now. So if you aren't on LinkedIn, I shouldn't be telling this, but I'd recommend just posting more on LinkedIn, more like more thought leadership style.
Okay.
And using hashtags.
Okay.
Because it's working really well at the moment.
And how do you find the
Instagram
right
as well.
hashtags to use?
So that's the thing, because LinkedIn doesn't necessarily recommend the right hashtags. I think that's why it's favoring the more obscure hashtags, and it kind of gets you trending. So you have to experiment. It doesn't give you much advice on what to use.
Vernon
So
was asking if you could show us your posts on LinkedIn.
I can find one. Let me see.
Take a look. We're not going to go too far off.
Okay. So
If
this
you
is
want-
a technique we're sharing with our audience is about storytelling. So what we're doing more is more behind the scenes. So if I go into this one, let's just see. You can see all my secrets here. But there was the
Dude,
one that was trending.
you might want to hide your chat.
Oh yeah, damn. Okay. The one that was trending was, where is it? It's this one, yeah. So public speaking, right? So if I go in this is just really, if you just, for LinkedIn, if you just share a story. So this is just a story about how all new starters at Sendible.
In the first month at my first job ever, I was asked to give a talk in an auditorium to almost 200 people. At just 20 years old, can you imagine how nervous I was? What did I know? I'm just a graduate. Oh, this is great, but I did it. Got it. So you're just telling the story,
That's
and
it.
then
Yeah.
how long is it? And through the story, you're teaching people something about how to tell stories.
Yeah, just really, it's a typical storytelling sort of formula. But this one's already got 8,000 views, 70 engagements, 10 comments.
Fantastic.
And it's trending in the public speaking.
Uh-huh.
So that's a technique I would recommend you guys use. And this is obviously through Sendible, posted through Sendible, scheduled at an optimal time. So everything is
If you create the same post, what would you do for Twitter with this? So this makes sense. It's not as long as I thought it would be, right? I worry that sometimes LinkedIn posts need to be really long to do well, but you're showing me that's not true. What would the equivalent then for Twitter be for something like this? A link back to this?
I would just extract the theme. So no, I would say try not to use links on Twitter. It doesn't really work anymore. So
Yeah.
I would take the theme and just shorten it. So again, kind of the story, lesson, and just keep it really short, and that seems to work well.
So let me see if I could come up with the theme. What did I know? I'm just a graduate, but I did it. I overcame it. And not only did I grow in confidence, but suddenly everyone knew who I was. Soon after that, opportunities and companies started to open up for me, all because I had been forced to step outside of my comfort zone. So I instilled the same tradition at Sendible. From the time I hired my first employee, every new starter is asked to present something they're passionate about to the, oh, beautiful. I know exactly what would work. You tell me what you think of this. It would be something like, presenting is I learned from my first job that presenting is the most, what is it? The best way to grow as a person and get more opportunities. So maybe that's one tweet. And then another tweet might be, at Sendible, we think presentation skills are so important that every new hire has to do a presentation at the company. So people love those little one sentence insights into how you run your company, or one sentence insights into what you learned as an entrepreneur. What do you think of that? I'm just kind of riffing here, but you've done this.
I think that's. I'm trying to find if I have my tweets, but that kind of thing would work. But it's really it's really doing something that people wouldn't expect. Like Twitter's about being controversial, right? Just try to be as controversial as possible.
Got it.
Try find a controversial spin on the post, and
all right. So forget about teaching everyone to code. Teach everyone on your team to public
that's
speaking.
Awesome. Perfect.
Right?
I like
right?
that.
You punch the meme in the face and come up with an approach that really is genuinely part of
I'll show you a really cool comment while I have you. But this guy said, how do the devs, engineers respond to this? Do they embrace it or not? So the guy in the question is actually a developer. So he took it, and he basically, he had fun with it. He said, it's nice to be unchained from my desk for 15 minutes once in a while.
Okay, so now let's talk about how Sendible is used to manage these comments. And by the way, I did not ignore the feedback and the questions that have come in. I'll come back to them. But how does Sendible know? How would you use Sendible to react to the comments, and then to also tell your developer this is one that you should be jumping in on?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I don't know if they're in this feed. Yeah, I can see if it's there. Might not be. Thanks for sharing. Okay, anyway, this is the LinkedIn one, but I might want to assign this to someone. So I might, I'll just say, Veronica, again, please respond to this comment. The other thing, obviously in the party inbox. Sorry.
Would they respond as themselves on Twitter, or could they also respond as you on LinkedIn? Can they respond as you and then just go in as Gavin and say thanks for the response, or is it only Gavin who's responding as Gavin?
So if they have been set up as a team member in your account, you have access to them, right? So I can send this to Adam. Adam has a Sendible account within Sendible, obviously. Yeah. And he'll receive a notification on his phone, and he can respond from his phone, from the mobile app. And it'll come through as him. It'll be his name.
His name, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any way for me to set someone up on LinkedIn to respond under my name? I guess there is.
So no, that's a really good question. So if I go back into the service section, sorry, I'm jumping around a lot, but once you've set up your services or your social profiles, I can share my profile with anyone on the team. So here's my LinkedIn profile. If I trust someone, I can share this one with Ellie again and say, Ellie, I'm happy she can manage my profile for me. Once I do that, she has access to my profile. She can post, she can respond.
Okay, don't do this yet.
I'm giving her access. So I'm not sharing the password. Just giving her access to my account within Sendible.
Okay.
To my LinkedIn account. So it gives me control still. I can just remove her, but that's the way that people do it.
I gave my assistant access to my LinkedIn account because too many people were commenting and not commenting. They were just reaching out to me, and it felt too time consuming and too hard for me to figure out who was worth responding to and who is just a knucklehead who thinks that their spammy message is going to win over everybody. Okay. Jean-Luc says, I'm a realtor. I want my clients to see their own properties that I'm posting for them by automatically receiving the specific URL of the post from Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook on a weekly basis. So he's posting on behalf of his clients, and he wants his clients to see what he's posted on a weekly basis. Is that possible?
Yeah, so let's go back to the outbox. I haven't shown you the stuff, but if you're in the schedule view, I guess what you can do is, actually, I'll show you another way quickly. If you're in the calendar, you can export this calendar as a PDF. So you might want to, let me just see if I can open this up. You might want to give this to your clients.
Mm-hmm.
So you can share your whole content calendar with them and show them what's coming up. So they can approve it that way. So you have your scheduled posts in one view, show the month's worth of content, and they can look at that. Otherwise, you can basically export to a CSV. So if you have all your scheduled posts, you can download this to CSV or HTML. So it'll give you an HTML file.
What was that?
Sorry?
What was that schedule in bulk? So you could just schedule it in bulk to go out to them on a weekly basis.
Yeah, so this is a really powerful feature. So a lot of people will, as I said, will plan their clients' content a month in advance. So let's say your client is ZC Social Media Group. You can basically either import from a CSV, so upload a CSV file. So you can work in, let's say, an Excel or whatever tool you want to use.
This actually got it. This is something that came up earlier. Got it. Okay, so this is
And then
about
you can bulk import. Yeah, so you can bulk import your posts into this, edit them, tweak them, attach images, and decide how you want them to go out. So you can schedule them or dump them into a queue, so it goes off automatically at the set times. Or you can send the entire thing for approval. So how it'll work is when I import my list of posts, I can choose to send the entire list for approval to my client.
Okay.
So rather than doing one at a time, it'll send everything. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Let me know if you're missing. If you guys are missing that, great.
Okay. Any questions before I go into the reporting section?
You know what? I haven't heard from people in a long time. I'm actually going to just go out there and say, guys, I could use a little bit of feedback here, or not feedback, just a little bit of a pulse from you. If you're listening, just type any letter on your keyboard and hit send. I just want to feel you guys. You know that I work really well from people, from seeing people and connecting with people and not talking to a camera on my own. Oh, good. Ben, thanks. M says, and Luis says, M, good. Kim, I'm listening. Kim, I love you. Thanks so much for being so active here. Ian, thanks. Courtney, always good. John with the Y. Danielle with the smiley face. Good, good. You guys feel me. Tim says, don't stop. Good, I won't. Kim saying, I love what I'm seeing here, and I'm just learning. Good. Tony W. By the way, I had this situation where I was doing a live session like this for somebody else, and I was interacting with this guy, and at the end of the session, I kind of thought of him, but that was it. A few weeks later, he said, Andrew, I'm the guy who chatted with you. I want to come over to your office. You're always inviting people to the office. I thought, sure, come on in. He came over to the office and just hung out. And the only connection we had was chatting here for a little bit. And then he wanted to talk about the topic that we were chatting about. I said, great, let's do it. I was also in Singapore because I told you my goal is to run a marathon on every continent this year. And so when I was in Singapore, this guy said, Andrew, I know your stuff. Can I come over and watch one of the interviews that you're doing in Singapore after you finish your marathon? I said, sure. He came in. He said, it's so good to see you in person. By the way, one time in the future, I'd like to come to 201 Mission Street. I said, wow, it's kind of cool that he knows my office because I invite people all the time. So I'm saying this to you first. I love to hear from you, but also I promise you this does develop a relationship. Like Iqbal is probably going to get my key here because the two of us have been talking so much online and I hope to see him in person. But it does develop a relationship and I do hope to see you guys in person. And if we do see each other, do bring up the fact that we were chatting here. Do bring up, Kim, especially you, that I know what you're doing with Sendible, that you're going to white label this. Let me know about that. I'd love to see you guys either here at 201 Mission Street, really in the heart of San Francisco, or as I travel the world. And Ben, I do not have a goal of doing a UK marathon, or at least I don't have plans to do it. I think I will be in Estonia doing my European marathon. Kim says, sweet, good. Sean's asking, where's your office? Everybody on earth should know my office address. It's 201 Mission Street in San Francisco. Frankly, just Google Mixergy, and it'll show up. Mixergy is the name of the parent company. Laura, wow, Estonia. Let me know who I should be interviewing there. Cool. All right, thanks. Now that we know that they're there listening and they know that I'm watching them, let's continue then.
Okay, so obviously once you've set up your content strategy for your clients, you want to show them some ROI. So we have a reporting section under the measure tab, and we have just about every metric you can think covered. So you'll see on the left-hand side, you have a reports hub. So these are kind of pre-built, good-looking reports that you can share with your clients. So let's take, for example, Facebook. So these reports are designed to show your progress. So you'll see it's already selected the Sendible Facebook page. That's my default Facebook account. So on every report, you'll see that there's basically a summary of the Facebook overview for the last period. So impressions, reach, engagements, consumptions. And you'll see that obviously these metrics are confusing for a lot of people. And with every metric, there's a little tooltip that shows you what they mean. But in addition, we've given you a reporting cheat sheet. So when you're going to your clients and you want to show them what you've done for them, take this cheat sheet with you. It shows you what everything means, goes into detail about what you've done, like paid likes versus organic likes. So it covers all the reports in detail, but I'll just touch at a high level what they mean. So this module is about audience growth. So you can see the Facebook page for the period 15th to 29th of July. You'll see organic likes versus unlikes versus paid likes. So you can see we have a lot of unlikes, which is quite concerning. But there's also net likes, which is negative. So you'll see that we've actually lost quite a few followers recently. And even the paid likes, you'll see it's gone up and down, showing where the ads are running and where they've been turned off. So you'll see if you look at the growth here, you'll see in that period we have 27,000 fans. We had 1 paid like, 35 organic likes, 57 unlikes. So our net likes was minus 21.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something you can obviously it might not look good because I'm showing you actually what's happening, but it helps you to work harder at where the goals are for your clients. Other thing is you can see your publishing behavior. So you can see across your team what you guys are publishing, which is really critical for an agency. And when you're showing your clients, you might have agreed that you'll post 10 photos a month, 1 video, and maybe 5 links, whatever it is. You can show that you've hit your KPIs. So yeah, you've done 13 links, 0 plain text 1, 7 photos, 1 video. And you can see that, over that period, that the number of posts we sent was actually 12.5% less. So you can show your clients maybe you did more one period, less the next period, whatever it is. And this is what I showed you earlier about probability of engagement. So this will show you for Facebook when the best time is to post. So it'll analyze all your previous posts and it'll work out when you're going to get the most engagement, looking at the history. So clearly we can see between the hours of 2 p.m. and 3 p.m., we get 27.78%. We're more likely to get engagements in that hour than any other hour. So it kind of learns as you go, and obviously it's key to spread out your content, but that's a pretty useful insight.
Yeah, that's actually kind of good to know also when it's not popular. Maybe I want to bury some posts,
Exactly. And then you can go granular and see which are the top performing posts. So over any period, might be a month, might be 90 days, which posts got you the most reactions, comments, shares, clicks, which are the most viral, which had the most reach. And that's just already critical for your clients. And it might inform your strategy as well. So here's something where we shared a link, we gave some insights, and we got some engagement. Obviously, photos of real people gets the most engagement for us. So we saw 7 reactions on that one, 22 clicks. But these are all useful sort of insights into what you should be doing with your content strategy.
What do you do for your photos? Are you just using your cell phone, or are you doing something more?
So so we're trying to get photos from our employees. So the best thing we've seen is just the more raw the photos are, the better. As I said, people are starting to ignore all things fake and overly polished.
Mm-hmm.
So the more authentic you can be, the better. So we just take them with iPhones or Android devices, whatever it is.
No editing or anything, or light editing.
Definitely not. No, it'll just be as raw as possible, and just the story behind that photo. Really, is
Yeah.
what works for us. Yeah. So yeah, here's a photo of someone working from home. We have a remote working policy. She took a photo of her garden, typical English garden. So it's really about kind of how they work. People want to see behind the scenes stuff, and yeah. And then you can see your page impressions. So how many people are actually landing on your page over time, the impact of paid versus organic.
I didn't realize you can do that on Facebook, that you can pull that data out so easily and so well.
Yeah. So anyway, it goes on and on. There's tons of data here you can study. So the other thing that's useful is looking at demographics. So knowing exactly who your audience is. So mainly male, 33% female, and then the people that you're reaching. So obviously page fans is one thing, but the people you actually reach, so
Mhm.
it hasn't loaded for some reason, but or the engaged people. But if you have any engagements or you're reaching people, you'll see that data reflected as well, which is actually more critical than the page fans themselves.
How are you coming up with topics to post about? How do you even know what's going to work, considering that you've now seen your engagement, your audience's
Mm.
what are you guys doing in India, by the way? Sorry, that's just
I have no idea. We have a lot of interest in India. Most of our customers are in the US, but India's
okay.
up and coming right now. Don't ask me why, but
Okay.
so what we've done, the strategy I've adopted is we've taken the company mission and values,
Mhm.
and we just post stuff about the values really. So anything behind the scenes that aligns with the values. So if you're an agency, it's related back to agencies. You would go on site, you'd learn about your clients, you'd figure out the company mission and values, and you would basically have a spreadsheet. You have a column with each value, and you would just put some ideas in there about content that aligns with the value. So for us, it's about being human, real, being authentic. So we're trying to show more faces. So we've rolled out all stock images in our social media posts. We'll take photos of real people, real employees, real customers, and tell their stories. So that's being authentic. So it's taking values and figuring out stuff that you can share from behind the scenes, because no one cares about what you do; they care about why you do it and kind of how you do it. So it's the method of what you're doing that people really care about, rather than what you're actually selling or offering.
Okay. All right. So I can
Is what we've
see
seen. Yeah,
maybe interviewing a client, understanding what they stand for, and then constantly looking for examples of them living up to that. So
totally.
if one of the things they stand for is, and I see a lot of people are saying that they stand for remote work. Well, then
Yeah,
you just keep checking in with them. What are you doing on the remote work front? What's life like day to day? Has somebody worked from a more interesting place? Please push your team to take photos when they're at a coffee shop, even if it's not of themselves. Your coffee up in the air is a good one. Just keep showing
yeah.
it. One of the things they stand for is hustle, right?
Mm,
Then I would want them to take photos of the late night work session,
exactly.
the
Yeah.
early morning wake up. Got it. All right.
Yeah, so,
That's
so,
helpful.
you're building the story, right? So your audience are then realizing that's what you stand for. So we'll follow you for that. But people don't engage with links anymore. I think social media is for brand. It's less about like making a sale these days. You need to see social media as a brand tool
For
that could
branding, not selling.
exactly. So this is a way to replace PR essentially, because you're going directly to the audience. Your audience have all the power. They kind of know they can see everything about you. On review sites, what your customers are saying about you. So you need to get them to believe in what you're doing,
Okay.
rather than kind of what you're selling and what you're offering. Yeah,
Okay, so we said to people that they're going to understand this. They're going to get a sense of what to create. One of the things that we've understood is, first of all, if you're working with your clients, whether you're using Sendible or something else, it definitely helps to have some kind of check-in process, some way for you or someone that you trust to look things over before you post it. Especially if you're working with a client, how many examples have I seen of businesses that just get horrible things sent out? They get criticized and they say, well, no, it's not us, it's an agency. And then the agency has to say, well, it's actually not us, it's the person who we hired on the team who does it. We're now implementing different processes to look at the content before we send it out. Well, their processes is they're using Sendible or So they've got their own tool that they built to allow them to look things over before they send it out. That's number one. Number two, don't send the same thing on all medium. I don't even think that that's something that we need to say anymore. People are starting to clearly understand that. Number three, I do believe, and call me out if I don't do this, wherever people are commenting, you've got to have somebody go and respond directly. And if I've missed it, let me know. I'll create a process for doing it. But I think that that little bit of engagement goes a long way. It's not even about the person who sees it. Like on YouTube, I don't think, tell me if I'm wrong, there's no way on YouTube if I comment and the creator comments back, I don't think they send me an alert telling me that the creator commented back. But it sends a message to everybody else on the team, which is everyone else in the audience, which is someone is looking at this. Even if it's not you getting a response to your message, the fact that you guys see that when Kim is commenting here that I respond back and Ian is commenting and I respond back, I think it shows you that I care about what you're talking about and I'm not just paying lip service to it. Number three, LinkedIn will work really well if you write longer form stories that are customized for them with a clear message. And then don't link to them from Twitter. Find a way to shorten it up. We've learned a lot here. I'm not going to go beyond this list. Let's talk about how people can get access to this. We've told them that they're going to learn, they're going to understand social media beyond this, and that they're going to actually get this software for themselves. So if they're into Sendible or curious, Sendible curious, what's a good way for them to go and sign up? Actually, you know what? Why am I asking? I've got it. Can I give it out?
Go for it. Yeah.
Botacademy.com/Sendible trial. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Botacademy.com/Sendible trial. When you go there, you will automatically get access to this software that you can use for 30 days. I'm going to go through it right now. Let me take a look at what this looks like. As soon as you do, this is a special page created just for us. You're going to get your contact information in there and boom, you're in there for 30 days. But it's a limited time offer. It will only work if you sign up using that link before, in the next 30 days. Oh, no, I see what it is. Your 30-day trial lasts until midnight 30 days from now. This is fantastic. Good. Here's why I think that's fantastic. Too many people get trials and they say, well, I don't want to start it today because if I started today, then, I may not have time on the weekend. I'll start it next week because I know I'm going to have more time next week. And then what happens is next week, they forget all about it. They're hopped up and they lose the energy because they procrastinate. And what I say to you is, if you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, it's 30 days from today, the sound of my voice. By August 28th, I'm recording this on July 29th. By August 28th, this will disappear. You get more if you sign up today, a little less if you sign up tomorrow, a little less if you sign up the day after that. So go sign up. And I want you to have that pressure. I don't necessarily even want you to sign up for Sendible. I get nothing whether you signed up for it or not. But I do want you, if you're going to, I want you to sign up today, because if you sign up today, you're going to experiment with it. You're going to play with it. You're going to see if it's useful for you. You're going to learn something. And then what you end up doing there is something that's going to end up growing your business. If you don't do it today, if you're not pushed to do it today, you're going to put it off and you're never going to do it. And believe me, even if Sendible, you go through it, you say, this is not for me, you're going to learn so much about social media, about managing promotion, about branding that you're going to use somewhere else. I had this experience. Gavin, I'm going to tell you about something that has nothing to do with work for a moment, and then I'm going to bring it back to work. I got this GoPro because I was going to run a marathon on every continent. I said, maybe I should start videotaping. And I didn't really do much with it. Then my kid went to a birthday party. I said, let's videotape my kid at a birthday party. So I recorded my kid at the birthday party. And I played this music, My Whole Life's a Party, underneath it. And I cut into like different cuts, different edits. And I said, what am I doing? Spending a freaking hour editing a birthday party video. It's not even my kid's birthday party. It's just him going to a birthday party. And yeah, he loves it. My kid the other night couldn't go to sleep. I said, can I sing you like the happy birthday song, make you feel better? He said, no, can you sing My Whole Life's a Party? So I sang My Whole Life's a Party to help him go to sleep. And yeah, that's kind of cute, but I still said, why am I wasting an hour editing this? And then I found myself in Australia. I shot video on nothing but this camera of my run, and I posted it. And I was able to show people, here is how I'm running around the world and doing a marathon on every continent. And I realized this thing that was not directly applicable to business suddenly made me a little bit smarter, gave me editing chops, and allowed me then, when I wanted to show something that was related to business, which is my run on every continent, my interviews on every continent, allowed me now to have a set of skills that I can draw on. So when you go into Sendible and you learn about how to create a social media campaign for your clients, when you learn how to respond back to social media, when you experiment with this and see what's possible, it may not be something that you use today. It may not be something that you use tomorrow, but it is something that will make you smarter for that thing that you hadn't anticipated, that you wouldn't have been prepared for otherwise. So that's what we're talking about. Again, I get zero benefit from this. I get not a penny, not a dollar. I get nothing. All I want you to do is to be smarter. And here's the upside for me. If you get something of value out of today, you're going to think better of your relationship with me. And then when I come at you in the future and say, hey, I can't get to Antarctica or whatever other issue I'm coming up with, you will feel that I really care about you because I do, and you will be more likely to respond back. And that is my ulterior motive. So go over right now to botacademy.com/sendible trial. Sign up right now. Experiment with it. If it's good for you, if it's a good fit for you, you can do what Kim is doing. Kim is super smart. She's actually, I just literally spit up while I'm talking. That's like, yes, I'm enthusiastic, but that takes away a little bit of credibility. That's okay. I've got a lot of credibility to spare. Do what Kim's doing. Kim has got clients, and she's saying, I'm going to create this as a white label product for my clients. And now she could be more professional by giving them, yes, reports, by giving them, yes, access to her professionalism and her ability to manage their social media, but she's also giving them the software for herself. Vernon's laughing at that. All right, good. All right, so why don't we do this? We've got a couple of questions coming in here. I think I've answered a bunch.
Andrew, could I add, yeah, I think I add one more thing. So just one more thing I was going to say is if you guys find me on LinkedIn, and if you like what you see, I can also give you a special discount code to use. So if you start your trial, you're enjoying Sendible, I have an exclusive Bot Academy discount code. Just message me on LinkedIn and I'll share that with you.
Ah, good. So you're saying even beyond this, if they decide they want to be a lifelong customer of yours or an annual customer or monthly, whatever
Exactly.
it is, you're even give them a discount if they just follow you on LinkedIn and interact with you like a human being.
Exactly.
All right, good. I'm not closing this out. Here's what I'm going to suggest. I want to get a little bit of tea. If there's something else that you want to show, are you okay to stay on for another 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. Why don't we do this? I'm going to close this out for now. I'm going to close the recording. For people who are listening to the recording, you've got everything that you need to get going with this. If you're listening live, in 15 minutes, I've got someone from Client Point coming on. Client Point is going to help you look so professional when you get new clients, because what Client Point does is it allows you to create those proposals that show your potential customer what you could create for them, why they should be doing work for you. And this little proposal that I remember getting as a client, I hired someone. I give presentations all the time. I hired this agency. I said, can you create my slides? They said, yeah. I said, can you help me like tell my story? They said, yeah. I said, how much? They said, I forget the exact number, but I think it was like $15,000. I go, 15,000 done. Yes, I'll pay you to create my presentation work. And the reason I felt so confident was the way they sent over their proposal was, here's what we could do for you. And I thought, this looks brilliant. These people have these designers on staff to create proposals like this, to show me what's coming up. Great. Yeah, I'm signing up. I paid them. And then I realized, well, actually, they had software to do it. And so we're going to show you in a little bit how if you have the right software to create a proposal, you can communicate your professionalism and have the software help you close sales for you. It's Client Point. They're going to come on in about 15 minutes. I'm going to go and get a little bit of a refresh on my tea. But we've got Gavin here who's going to help by answering questions on Sendible and walking you through the software. Gavin, take